Okay, perfect. Hey, first, congratulations for getting the license. Now you're living the dream.
Yeah, well, the dream is getting your own plane.
I know, man, but hey, one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
Now you know what you want to go towards, right? So you got your license, and so where do you fly from? You fly from Flying Studio?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did all my training there.
Okay. Well, I'm not, once I get my license, and if you are interested on a partnership or something like that, let me know.
Okay.
I will be looking for to go on that route as well. And so tell me, like, where do you take your test? Do you go to? He's asking me to go to Ocean City.
Ocean County.
Ocean County. That's
yeah. Did he give you a flight plan to put in yet? Have you done that?
Not yet, because my test is in November 20th, so that is time.
Oh, so you have some time.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so have you taken the CIFRA yet?
The CIFRA is the document that
it's like a little course that you take.
No, I don't. I have not taken it.
Okay, so it's online. It's free, and
okay, it's called
SFRA, CIFRA.
Okay.
It's special flight rules. It's all around the DC area.
Okay.
So that's what CIFRA is. That's for
that. Yeah. That's the one that you had to that you need to overflight DC.
You have to have that to enter that airspace.
Okay.
I was told that he might do a couple things. So he told me that I might go to Martin State, and that's in the CIFRA. And then he told me mine was to Frederick, Maryland. Yeah.
Frederick.
But from what I was told with Chris says from all his past, he likes to go to Martin State. So you have to do the CIFRA.
Okay.
And there's a
So hold on a minute. Frederick State was the real, right? So he told you, no, we're not going there. We're going to go to Frederick, Maryland. But
that's where I went. That's what he had me to do.
Okay, but Martha's Estate, is that what it is?
Martin State, Martin, Martin
State.
Yeah.
And Martin State is an airport in Virginia?
It's in CIFRA. It's in the CIFRA boundaries.
Oh, wow.
So it's, I think Martin State is in Maryland, just right outside of Baltimore. If I remember correctly, by looking at it, I'd have to get out my map.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
So be prepared to do one of the two things. You definitely need to do the CIFRA. It's about an hour long. And it gives you a nice little certificate, but it makes you very aware of the regulations for CIFRA.
Okay.
And that was one of the main things that Chris made. He was like, that's the first thing that I had to do, even for my check ride. He's like, make sure because he's going to ask you.
Okay. Let me share with you. This is share with you my screen. Just a second here. Share screen. And multiple participants on the advance, so one participant can share at a time. I'm trying to share my screen, but it's not, somehow it's not allowing me to do that. It says share screen. Okay, now it's letting me. So Sky Vector. Okay, I'm sharing with you a Sky Vector right here. Can you see it?
Okay, there you go. Cool.
Okay, so let's look here.
So go very east. West. I'm sorry. Keep going west and actually close it a little bit. Keep closing it. Keep closing it. Okay. So okay, now we're getting close. Okay.
Okay, hold on a minute. I think I can write the number.
See your red line right here. See your red line around Washington, D.C.?
Yes.
That's not the TFR. You're on the TFR. Go down here to the red line. Go down. There you go. Come down. There you go. That is the CIFRA.
Okay.
That's the special. That's the stuff that you have to do. So around that line. Oh, you're going fast on me here. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's actually another line that goes. So Martin State is. Where is it? Is it right?
Police station,
Uh,
Manassas.
no, it's up here. Martin State's up here. Yeah. So
Frederick, this is where he took you, right?
so that's where I had to do my flight plan to Frederick.
Okay, let me take note about K F D K.
Yeah, that's pretty. It was pretty easy.
Okay.
It wasn't too. So where in the hell is Martin State? It's in the CIFRA. I know that.
Baltimore, Martin.
Martin State, Martin.
Here is KMTNT.
Yeah. So he likes to go there. He likes to tell you to go there. So you're going to do a flight plan into there.
KMTN. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay. So let me start off by how I started my stuff.
Okay.
What I did is I made this folder. I'll let you see it real quick here. So you see this folder?
Not seeing your anything. I don't think you're sharing your screen.
I don't even know how to share it.
You turn on your camera.
Share screen. You cannot share.
Well, actually, if it is a physical, all you have to do is turn on your camera.
It says I can't share my screen as long as you're sharing your.
Yeah, don't. But is it you said that you created a folder? You created a folder in your computer?
No. For my check ride.
Okay, then you just share your camera. Open your camera.
I don't know where that at. And you're asking.
There is a button on the bottom.
It says share screen, so I hit it.
Yeah, but share screen will share your display. Is that what you want to share?
Well, I want you to show you what I made.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Go ahead.
Okay, so now it says share screen. There's nothing there for me to share. I don't even know where to turn on my camera. I thought I had.
Okay, so on the bottom left, it says stop video or start
video or yeah, and it says mute.
Yeah, so start video. Okay, so yes, so I actually did ask you to start the video in there. Do you have a video camera in the computer?
Yeah, there.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, so here you go. You see this?
I see that. Yeah.
But this is what I started off. This is what I made for him because people.
Awesome.
People.
Beautiful.
And they just give out pieces of paper. You know what I mean? So I try to make it look a little more professional. And he was very, very happy with this. He was like, wow, he goes, I can see your attention to detail is pretty good. So here, I'm going to open this up for you. You're opening this, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So inside of this, now I have, I think this is my medical. No, this is my temporary airman license. Okay. So this is actually my license now. This is my legit
That's
license.
awesome.
Yeah, so I put that in there. So anyways, okay, so here's my flight plan. I put my flight plan in here for him. That was the first thing. And then what I did is I put my student pilot license and my medical all on one page. See that?
Wow, very nice.
Okay. And then on this over here, you have to show them your test scores. So you have to get the original. And I put that in there also. I don't know what I had here. I had something here, but here's the weight and balances of all the planes that they have at Flying W. I don't know what.
That is awesome.
What are you taking yours in?
62862.
Oh, okay. So you're taking it into 172. Okay, and then so here I had this is the registration to the plane, and this is part of more of the registration of the plane. Okay. And he was happy with this. I mean, he was like tickled pink. He's like, wow, I can't believe this. So here's all my NOTAMs and everything for the airport that I was flying to. And my hotspots. He's going to ask you, you got to look up hotspots.
Okay.
He's going to say, where's the hotspots and what do they do and what do they mean? Why are they there? As soon as I'm done with that, then here's the hotspots NOTAMs that I printed out from, I think it's AirNav, but I printed out everything from the hotspots NOTAMs and it says where they're at. Here is the diagram of the airport and everything that's in it. Okay. Then we get back here. Here's some more stuff on the airport. And I think it was the airport that I'm taking off into is Ocean County's here. So you want to do that also. This is the CIFRA. See, it says Certificate of Achievement.
Yes.
So this is what you're gonna print out once you get done with it.
Awesome.
It's a little question test. So I started off with that, and he was really happy with that. So make yourself a little book. I put a check ride. I put my name and everything on here. I put the number of the plane, 739 Zulu Hotel. My FTN number is there.
That's awesome, man. Great job.
Yeah.
That's an awesome idea, man.
And you know what? I found it online somewhere, and I was like, "Holy shit! I can't believe that." So that's cool, anyways. But anyways, so anyways, when I went in, I was nervous as hell.
Let me ask you this.
And I thought I was going
before
to
you
get
tell me about that,
but-
the documentation about the plane, because you have to get all the you had to tell him that the plane have met all the active directives, right?
So you're going to bring the logbooks with you.
Okay, bring the logbooks.
You have to bring who's your CFI?
Paul.
Paul. Okay, he'll know. So he'll bring the logbooks and all.
Was Paul your CFI as well?
Mine was actually, he just flew over with me because I was actually cleared to go over there by myself because I had to finish it up. Because it was too windy. And don't be afraid, like if it's too windy and out of your comfort zone, if you get done with the oral, which I did, I got done with the oral, I passed everything, and it was gusting 20 miles an hour. I'm like, I'm not really.
Yeah,
I said,
absolutely.
I said, look, I don't want to hurt you. And everything you say to him, just make it safety conscious. I said, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt the plane. And I don't want to hurt myself. He like, I won't let you get there. I said, it don't matter what you want to do. It's a matter of if you're capable of correcting if anything happens to us. And he liked that. So I just made him very well known. I said, I'm not comfortable in this and I'm not doing it. Because when I first started, I had a student that was with Shannon, and he went in the winds and it was too windy for him and he failed. So once you start the check ride,
That's it.
You got to keep going.
Yeah.
And you got to,
If you split it, do you have to pay him again $600?
you don't have to pay him again. It's all part of it. But if you do fail, there is probably another fee. But if you say, hey, look, I'm not comfortable, you don't have to pay him again. He's got to just continue with it. He's going to ask you, did you read your ACS? And of course, you're going to say,
Yeah,
do you have an ACS?
I do.
You do. Okay. So he's going to say, do you have foggles?
I do.
Okay. And that's exactly what he wants to hear. And you have to bring them with you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Because you are going to go underneath the hood when you're doing your check ride. So we started off, it was all pretty simple. He's like, all right, let me see your flight plan. And he asked me, which I didn't really understand. There was
So let me ask you this. All the questions were at the beginning, all the questions were, he was asking you your knowledge, but based on the flight plan, right? It's not that he was asking you.
He started off with my flight plan.
Okay,
First started off, he said, let me see your originals, everything.
okay.
So that I had the paperback all made up nice and neat. He said, let me see your originals. So he started off, and he's really a really nice guy. He's not there to try to make you fail. He wants you to succeed, but he said, he goes, if you're not safe, I'm not going to pass you.
Oh, of course.
So, so everything, like I said, safety conscious, So once we got that, Chris and Dave, they both left the room, and we just started going over through a lot of weather. I mean, a lot of weather. And there was some things that I'm like, well, I didn't even know that, you know. Like he asked me, when it's your dew point, or not your dew point, but when your temperature is close to your barometer, there's a chance of ice being in the air. And I didn't know that. I'm like, whoa, that's weird. I said, even though that there is no clouds, he goes, when your temperature is close to your barometer, say if it's like a 30.45, right? For your barometer. And then you got 32 degrees. There's a chance of humidity or precipitation in the air that could possibly freeze. You understand?
Is that a ground level or
It's up. It's wherever, you know.
okay.
You know, you're giving you can get your altimeter reading from at 2,800 feet or at 4,000 feet. They're going to tell you whatever it is. Like
Right.
the higher you go up, you know, obviously it gets colder.
Yeah, the temperature drops.
So, and I didn't understand that. I was like, wow, I never heard of that. I didn't get into weather that much. You know what I mean? So, he also asked, about your density, altitude, and stuff like that. He made you fill out, you know, like a density, altitude. He was really like, so he didn't really show me a lot until at the end of the thing, but he made me go over a lot of stuff. So a lot of weather. I mean, when I say a lot of weather, I mean really focused on the clouds, your cirrus clouds, your cumulus nimbus clouds, your stratus, cumulus nimbus stratus clouds, your towering cumulus clouds. He wants to know, like, if you could fly into that. And then we went right into airspace. And I have a formula how I remember my airspace. I don't know how you remember yours, and if Paul taught you a different way, but it's a 313 method. It's really cool, but I mean, if you have another way, then I would stick with that.
That's like a 3 nautical miles distance, 1,000 above and 3,000 below, something like that. Is that what you do?
So what I do is, I don't know. So I can write it down real quick for you. I got a pen. My flight bag here. So, another thing is too, I marked everything. So I have a whole book right here. This is another thing that I had. This is the Skyhawk, right?
Oh yeah, I had the fly manual too.
So, and I marked every little thing that where I could find it. And he would do a weight and balance with you.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to want to know where you find this weight and balance stuff at. So it's easier if you just tab it. See my tabs?
Yeah, I see it.
Here, if you just tab it and
That's
just,
the POH.
okay, and that's a lot easier. And he'll go over with you, you know, in some stuff that you don't understand. So tab that, and then I tabbed my far aim.
Okay. What that's a good, I have mine here. What do you tab in there? Use the main chapter.
Okay, so there's in the front of the book, in the front, it says private and recreational. I can't, it just says it right in the front. So you see where it says private and recreational?
Yes.
Right in the front of the book here.
Yes.
All these right here, everything in private recreational, you want to tab most of that stuff. That is your study guide. And that, and it all it really is like, all I did is just the main chapters. And he's like, where can you find that? And you could tell him, like, you don't have to remember the FARs, you know, you don't have to remember that at all. He's just like, where can you find it? Are you safe? He's going to ask you, I'm safe. He's going to ask you what I'm safe stands for.
Okay.
Illness, medication. I forgot now. I have, so in the back of your back of my, I wrote all my tomato flames right here. I'm safe, my arrow, everything. Because you're not going to remember all of it.
Correct.
So much going on in your head. I mean, you're just going to be nervous as all hell.
How did he feel about you looking into the material you have?
You can look in the far aim.
Okay.
Anything you want to look, you can look in the far aim. You're not supposed to like make your own notes. but you can look in the far aim. So I put my notes in the far aim.
Okay, that's great. Good idea.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there was some other stuff that I asked him, I said, do you mind if I write that down? He's like, no, because I didn't know it. I mean, I don't know where the hell I wrote it down now, but yeah. It was an airmet, the three types of different airmets.
Well, you have SIGMEX, Airmet, and
Yeah, there's a SIGMED, AirMed, and but he didn't ask me for that. He just asked me for AirMed. So there's turbulence, visibility, and ice in AirMed. There's a T, a C, and a Z. So, and he explained that to me. You know, I'm like, I told him, I said, look, man, I'm gonna be flying in the most best weather in the world. I said, I'm a new pilot. I'm not going anywhere in clouds or around clouds, anything like that. I said, and he started laughing. He thought that was funny. He was like, once you get, used to flying a little bit more by yourself, he goes, you're going to go, you're going to, you say, oh, let's venture out. So
that was turbulence, ice, and what was it, the other one?
Stability, I think it is. There was turbulence, visibility, and icing.
Visibility.
T is the turbulence. AirMet with a C is visibility. Because so it was weird how he said that. He goes, C like you see.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You see what he means? So C doesn't have nothing to do with turbulence with
it's just that being able to,
I see you. And that's how he explained it to me.
Got it.
See? And then icing is Z, which icing, that's how he pronounced it. He goes, icing.
Icing. Okay, got it.
So that's Z.
Thank you.
Yep. So we went into that stuff, and then he's going to ask you angle of attack and angle of incidence. So make sure you know the angle of attack. He's going to ask you, what does it mean? So everything's a scenario that he does with you. Everything. So he's like, well, what if we did this today and this what happened? And he actually really opened my eyes up for angle of attack on some things. It was really weird because I'm like, okay, I know what angle of attack is, like everybody knows what angle of attack is. But when he explained it to me in a different way, I was shocked. I mean, I couldn't understand. So like if you take, for instance, he had it, he goes, he likes to draw. So if you see, here's a plane, right? Here's, you got the wing, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he's like saying, okay, here's your chord line.
Correct.
You had a plane come up here like this, and it was coming down here like this. And if you pulled up and it's going nose down, you could still have angle of attack. I went, wow, I didn't really think of that like that. I said, I always thought your angle of attack was kind of going up. He goes, no matter what, it's the wing going over your airfoil.
Correct.
So even if you're coming down straight and
you have an angle,
you're still going down, but you're going to have angle of attack. There's no more, you're going to be able to have that induced drag back there, and all the wind's going to be behind the wing, and you're going to stall that wing. You could still stall the wing coming down like that.
Wow.
Because going back so hard. And I didn't understand. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. I'm like, so he's very, very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. So we went over a couple of things like that. He's going to ask you if today, like he asked you the weather there at, like, say when I went to, well, we didn't go to Frederick, but he's going to ask you, could we flown there today? And he goes, I said, no, you can't, because you don't have the visibility for one. He goes, it's marginal VFR. So just stuff like that. He wants to know. And I said, no, you can't. So in your airspaces, he's like, well, what's this airspace? And he shows, he goes, and he really emphasized on echo and golf. Like he went nuts on it. I was like, whoa, okay. Let me get this out here. So go back to your screen of your map.
Yep.
And go to Ocean County now.
That is KNJX.
Okay, and then we'll go from there.
That's Ocean County right there.
Okay.
And
Can you see my cursor, or is it just yours?
No, that's just my cursor. But
Okay,
I
so
think I can share. Okay.
no, don't. You're good. So if you go, you see where it says there's Ocean County. Okay, so you see right below it, right there, where your cursor is.
Yes.
Coil. You have the coil.
Yes.
Okay. So do you see this line that's like where right? Oh, stop right there. Do you see that? You see that line right there? That fuzzy line? That's your echo, airspace.
Yes. Yes. Right here.
He's going to ask you, where's your echo and where's your golf? Start. Okay. So you need to know where the echo is and what you're flying in and where are you coming. Like say, if you're coming out of Ocean County, what airspace are you flying in? Do you need a transponder? Do you need radio contact there? He's going to ask you that. He's also going to ask you if you are flying into, he knows that everybody knows Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Alpha, but he's going to ask you a little bit about the Charlie.
Okay.
So when he asked me about the Charlie, he's like, when can you fly into the Charlie? I said, well, you got to get radio contact.
Right.
He goes, are you sure? I said, well, yeah. He goes, no, you can fly into the Charlie. I went, you can. I said, I thought you had to have radio two-way communication. He goes, yes, but you can fly into the Charlie. I said, so what happens with the radio communication? He goes, you can fly into the Charlie as long as you keep flying and say, hey, look, if you go like this, say November 739 Zulu Hotel, Atlantic City request, and they say 9 Zulu Hotel, go ahead. Right then, you did not have radio communication. You have to say November first. That's when you know.
Yeah, it's yes. So if they tell, I remember that. If they tell you aircraft calling, Atlanta, the airport, standby, you don't have two-way communication with that right there.
Right.
They
you can still fly into that. You like say if you're flying into that and you say standby, you can still fly into that.
You do?
It confused the hell out of me. He said because you can fly into that. I said, all right. I said, I'll still wait.
Yeah.
I'll still wait until I get communications. He goes, the only time that you cannot, if they don't say your in number.
Oh, okay.
If they don't say your in number, you cannot get in there.
That I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Well, that's actually the same thing that if they don't mention your if they don't mention your tag, right? November 62862, if they mention it, right, then you can get in. That's my understanding.
Right.
But if they say aircraft calling, standby, that's when you cannot get in.
You could still fly. He said you could still fly in.
Okay.
I was confused on that. I said, look, I'm just going to wait until they say I can fly into their airspace. I don't need no bullshit,
Right. I will do exactly the same thing.
So that's the best answer you could probably get is saying, look, I'm just going to wait until they say I can come into their airspace. Yeah. He obviously, he flies a jet for a living, so he knows all the ins and outs.
Okay.
So that's one of the things is he says, the only time you can't fly in there is when they say, when you start flying in there and like say you entered it, it's okay, which is crazy because you don't have to have radio communication. I said, okay, fine. I said, I'm going to have radio communication no matter what. I don't care.
Correct.
And that's we ended it right there. But he just said that he just made difference between if you just say 86262 or November 862862. That was the confusing part for me. I didn't know that. I thought you just had radio communication and that was it. They have to acknowledge your tail number by the N number.
Yeah. You know what is funny? I've been told that you don't mention the N number inside the United States because N is the United States.
Yes. So if you don't mention it, if you say 86262 request and you don't hear them, you can't go in there yet. You know what I mean? Because you didn't put your in number. The in number is the key when you go into a Charlie.
Okay,
Wait, that's how he explained it to me.
good to know.
Ask me about the Charlie. So going back to your Echo and your Golf, he asked me, where does the Golf start and where does the Echo start? And then there's also another Echo part that that you probably won't see, but he will ask you anyways. It's in Texas or somewhere like that. The Echo starts at 12,000 feet or hold on. Got so much in my head. It's in my notes. So Echo starts at 10,000 and it goes up to 18,000. And you probably will never see that Echo, he said, in this area, because you'll probably see that into like a Texas area because they have different kind of like, you know, restrictions out there. But the Echo is really between 1201 and 1500.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, but anyways, what I did is, let's show you real quick here. So it's called the 313 method. And I learned this online and you can look it up. Yeah.
313 method,
It's off of Plain Silly. You watch any YouTube. So if you do this, it's pretty cool. So you make your, and I'll show you. So you see this? Can you see that? Can you barely see that?
Barely.
Barely. Okay. So it's like a C. Like this is like your like a G, right?
Okay.
What you do is now that you bring it down, you bring that down and you go 313. This is where the 313 comes in. This is what they call the 313. So the 313. So 313. All right.
Can you get it closer to the screen?
Where's my camera?
Hold on a minute. Keep it in there. 3, 1.
It's the 313.
1, 3. Okay, so I see the 3, the 1, and the 3. Okay, got it.
Okay, so now you start adding in your things. So now you just put a C and a 5, right? So you put your line across here. I'm gonna put my line across here. I'm gonna go step by step, and then you put a 5. Okay. So you see where the C is?
I see the 5 on top of the 3.
Yep,
and
the 5 is up there, and then the C is right here.
Yep, I see the C. Correct. Yes.
Okay. So now all you got to do is put in your 152s. I call it 125s because that's how it comes. I don't know why they call it 152s, but so here's your Echo. Go 3 152, clear, and 152. And then you go 152, 152. And then your Charlie and Delta's right here, and this is your. You come up here. I'm going to show it to you real quick. Here is above 10,000. This is day and this is night. Okay. And this is 111. All right. So here we go. All right. You got that?
Say 5. Then you have 111.
So what's the 111? He's going to ask you that too. 1 mile, 1,000 feet, and so 111, 1,000, 1 mile, 1,000 feet. What's the other one? You got to get the video. You got to get the video. So
I'll look at.
It's his off of YouTube. It's off of Plain Silly.
Plain Silly is the
just Plain Silly. Just put it up there. SILL. Yep. There you go.
Plain Silly, and these 313, right?
I don't know if you just put in the Plain Silly and I'll show it to you. Just you come over and I'll show you the 313 method.
Use Plain Silly.
Yeah, this is Plain Silly. So go down a little bit. It'll show. It's going to show Airspace. Put in Plain Silly Airspace. And it was the easiest method that I've ever done.
Oh, this is it. Airspace.
There it is right there. That's it right there. So see, it says Echo and Golf. See, that's my Why? That's the start of.
I'm Brian.
I'm going to, let me save it.
Pilotsofamerica.com. Saw some people talking about things that they struggle with.
Awesome. Thank
Go
you.
ahead and watch it. Go ahead and watch a little bit. It's not very long. So go ahead and watch
Okay.
a little bit and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's really, really good.
I will go ahead. I will watch it. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw what it is in here, and I like what I saw.
Yeah, and he shows you really fast. Like there's others. Okay, right there. Go right there. Now
Here,
there's the
five there. You've probably already figured out where I'm going with this, but if you can write that down, you've got your airspace memorized. So what exactly am I doing here? Okay, the only two airspaces that are really confusing are E and G. We know A doesn't really matter. B is 3 and clear. So E and G are the only difficult ones. So what we're going to do is take this line and divide the top and bottom. This is 10,000 feet. Everything above this is 5111. This essentially goes away. That's very easy to remember. Doesn't matter. Everything is 5 miles, 1,000 feet above, 1,000 feet below, and 1 mile laterally. And this right here, this line, day, night. So nothing changes above 10,000 feet and above, I should say. 5111, day, night, EG, that's basically gone. So that's why originally I only drew the bottom of these, because this is the only part that's confusing. So the other thing we need to know is there is a divider right here at 1,200 feet. The 1 comes down, that's 1 and clear. The 3 comes down, that's 3. Now the only thing we need are our 1, 5, and 2. So this is 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 5, 2. Again, this is day, night. So now you know E is all 3, 1, 5, 2. And if you're wondering where C and D are, guess what? C and D are right there in the lower half of your E. If you just look at this, it's confusing, but if you start with those two things and you know you've got 3, 1, 3, C5, everything else is simple. The point for me was never to be able to memorize that final drawing. It was to be able to have something I could put on a piece of paper when I sat for my written and figure out airspace. And so I could sit in my written and I could do this 3, 1, 3, 5, C. I had that down, and then it was just, all right, I know this is all the same, 1, 1, 1, and this is 10K. I know this is 1, this is all 1, 5, 2. It includes C and D. This is going to be 3, 1, 152, 152, 152, day, night, 1,200. So by being able to do those first few steps, I was able to sit down with a piece of paper, and there I had my airspace ready for my exam.
Very
It's
nice.
also very easy for me to remember in my mind. On your check ride, you're highly unlikely to find yourself above 10,000 feet. You may find yourself in class E and G airspace. So really, E and G are the only ones that are tough. The other ones are very simple. You can remember B is 3 and clear, A doesn't really matter. So if you can get the seed to draw something like this or come up with something like this in your mind, it may very well simplify airspace and visibility for you. And if not, that's fine. This is something, like I said, I came up with this for me because I struggled with it. So it's what I do. Hopefully it helps. And if not, I appreciate you taking the time to look.
Very nice. Thank you very much for sharing that with me.
So what I did is every day I wrote that down every day for probably
Oh
a
man,
week.
that's awesome.
All I did was like, all right, let me just check my airspace. And I just wrote that down on a new piece of paper every time. And I didn't look at a new piece of paper for a while. I just looked at another piece of paper and I wrote that down. So I just kept it fresh in my head.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it helped me a lot because C and G was really tough. It was really tough. Okay, so another thing too he's going to ask you is, so go to a, so you see the 1200s? See the big 1, 2s?
Yes.
He's going to ask you what that is.
Yeah, that's the altitude. Isn't that the terrain altitude?
So what that is the highest point in that sector.
Correct.
So anything in there is not going to be anything above 1200.
Above 1200. So you get to be sure that you get to that sector if you're
Yeah.
flying above 200.
If you're, make sure you're flying, but he's going to ask you that too.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then he's going to ask you, where is the Charlie top off at? Where is the Charlie top off? Where's the Delta top off at? He's going to ask you, and where can you show that to me? So go down to the Charlie.
This is Atlantic City.
That's a Charlie. Yeah. So where is the top of the Charlie?
Well, it depends of the circle, right? So no.
Nope.
So I thought that the 4100.
There
was
you
the
go.
top.
That's the top of the Charlie, and that's everywhere.
Okay.
See it? 4100.
4100 and 1300 is the
Yeah. So
bottom.
so right
It is
around.
surface to 4100.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like the ups down bottom of the cake, and
Yes.
he'll ask you that. What's the top? And he's just trying to see how much knowledge that you know about it.
Mhm.
And so go over to Northeast Philly. I think that's a Delta
KPNE. Let me go here.
right there. Well, you know what? There's Wilmington. That's fine. Wilmington's right there.
Oh, hold on a minute. I get you there. KPNE. I used to fly to Northeast Philly. So KPNE is somewhere here.
It's right there. It's right here. Keep going to your right on the screen.
Right on the screen.
Yeah, right there. That's it.
Okay, KPNE is right here. Yeah.
So he's going to ask you,
Mhm.
so he's going to ask you, what's the highest point of the Delta? And he's going to ask you, where can you see that at?
Well, this is inside the Bravo stars here, actually, no?
Well, no, there's a shelf there. So but he's going to ask you, what is the highest point of the Delta? And he's going to ask me, show me where you find that.
Is that the 2600?
That's
here?
the 2600. Yes. So the Bravo don't start there. There's actually like,
No, the Bravo, there is normally a number on the,
so what happens is right there in that Bravo, there's between 3,000 and
yeah, 3,500 and 7,000. That's
Yeah.
where the Bravo is.
yeah. So, but actually where we're at over here, it's 3,000 over here. Flying W, it's 3,000, right?
Yes.
So in that area right there between 3,000 and 2,600, it's nothing. It's, you know, that's your Echo airspace. That's, you can fly in, that's VFR. So he
Awesome.
ask you that too. He might ask you, like, where's the shelf between the Bravo and the Delta? See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and over here on this side of the east side, or the actually northeast side, it's 3,500 and 2,600. So it actually gives you 900 more. Over here, it's 3,000 and 2,600.
Where are you seeing that?
So you go down right next to Flying W.
Like this is Flying W. It
Yeah,
says
right there. There's, see it right there, right where your cursor's at. See it's 3,000.
that's, yeah. So that means that the Bravo starts at 3,000
Yes.
and instant 7,000 in this
And
side.
it runs into the Delta, which is 2,600. You see that?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so that's, he might ask you, can you fly through there if you're at 2,800 feet?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Yeah. So, okay. So, and there's another one that I didn't know. So go to Harrisburg.
Harrisburg. Do you remember the airport there?
Just go to Frederick, Maryland. What was it? KF?
KF. Let's see here.
I think it's D.
KFDK.
KFDK. Okay. All right. So do you see that white spot right above it?
Yes.
What's that?
It seems to be. It says avoid prohibited area.
So that's Camp David.
Oh, okay.
That's restricted airspace. He goes, "Can I fly?" I said, "Can you fly in?"
No.
He says to me, he goes, "Can you fly in?" I'm like, "Hell no! Unless you want to get shot down."
You want to shoot down? I was like, this.
So he did show me that, right? And then just go up towards. Go up toward. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We're gonna find a little bit more. Keep going. I see it now. Okay, so see the gray.
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
The right.
Yes. So that is, it'll say on your chart, special, and he'll show you on your chart supplement. And I didn't know this. I had no idea. I said, well, that's something I've learned today. That's good. I had no idea what that was. Okay, here we are. The gray is on the back. So that is Terminal Radar Services area. So that's TERSA.
Oh,
So he will ask you that too. So he's not gonna like say, hey, look, we're just gonna go like right around our area. He's gonna find stuff on that map and he's gonna go through it.
so
had
you
no
were thinking
idea.
that you were going to fail this with all these questions? How do you?
No, because he just wants to see how much knowledge you have.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I mean? So he understands that you're not going to know everything on that map.
Okay, good.
I mean,
I was just wondering, like I made a mistake and out. You know what I mean?
don't, you know what? Don't say, like, don't try to, like beat around the bush with him.
Okay.
He's
you
really,
know.
really a nice guy. I mean,
Okay, good.
he's got a real good demeanor. He's really, I mean, he's, I don't know if you can say it. He does very well at his job.
Good.
He's not teaching you at all. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's not his job.
No, he's not teaching you at all. He's just asking him the knowledge that you know.
Got it.
After the check ride, he'll tell you after your check ride, and he won't tell you all that then. But I'm just trying to, because I had no idea. I was like, I told you, I'm like, look, I'm honestly, I don't know what that is.
Right.
I'm like, I never even seen it before, never even knew of it before. He's like, okay, no problem. But after everything was all done, the check ride, the oral, after all that, that's when we went over stuff.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. So he won't really go over a lot too with you right then.
But he will go back after.
After, because he's not allowed to.
Yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean? So he's not allowed to. So after everything's all said and done, and he says, all right, you passed, but we're going to go over some few things. And that's what it is.
This is great, Marlyn. I didn't know what this was either, right? So honestly, I
still don't know what it is. He says it's like an old military base.
Okay.
And it's something to do with an old military base. I said, I had no idea that was an old military base either.
Yeah, it's a Terminal Radar Area Service.
It's called
Terminal Radar Service Area.
Yes.
I just by the color, right? It's not one of those colors
right.
that I will expect.
So
go ahead.
There wasn't really much more out of that. Like I said, we did a lot of weather. We did this stuff here. He asked me, what's the rings, like, say, the stupid stuff. How do you know if they have fuel at one of the airports?
Got it. Yeah.
And you know that, right?
They have will it say with the star in there in there?
So the stars means it's a lighted airport. It's got a beacon or something. But see how it's got little notches around it? That airport right there, you see the little, like, they're like a notch going to the west, notch going to the east, notch going to the south, and notch going to the.
Yes.
That means it's lit. It has services.
Okay, and then you can use on the terminal service area to
that star. I'm pretty sure that's for your
illumination.
It's not illumination. That's it's got a twirly bird, doesn't it?
That's a what?
I'm trying to think of the damn thing. What it's called. It's got a beacon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's got a beacon. Let me find it real quick on here on my map.
Operates in less than continuous on request.
So it says a rotating airport beacon with a star.
Okay.
You see that right underneath? It's in your airports, all the way at the bottom of the objectionable.
Obstructions, topography, radio aids, navigation, communication, airport data,
right above, right up. It's like right at the bottom in your airport section.
Okay,
Do you see that? It's in your legend.
yeah, so I have in my legend, I have miscellaneous
It's going to
topography
be
information.
your top left.
Top left, it says
It says
airport.
airports.
Yes.
Okay, go all the way to the bottom. You'll see the little star right there in the airport section.
Oh, yeah, rotating.
Rotating beacon.
I see. And then, yes, and I see what you say, services, fuel available, I see that.
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Okay,
He'll ask you that also.
okay, good. I see that.
So and then he'll ask you like how many gallons per hour does the plane burn?
I understand.
He'll ask you a lot about that. He'll ask you a lot about your plane and how do you know if you're on the envelope, if you did a weight and balance check, are we on the envelope? Are we close?
Right.
I was like, yeah, we're close. He's a bigger guy. So, but he's really good. So that's for the oral part.
Okay,
So when we went on to the
so you did your pre-check with him, I guess.
yes, the pre-check. So when we did the pre-check, he gets in the plane and he just kind of like he's your first passenger. Understand? Like he's literally there.
So you have to explain everything from scratch.
Not only do you have to explain to him, take the keys out of that plane and keep them in your pocket while you're doing your pre-flight.
Okay, awesome.
Because if he's like, well, what happens if I, like mess around and like put the key in? Can this thing start?
Yeah.
And the magnetos, you know about the magnetos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it can.
So it can start. So take the keys with you at all times, and then do your pre-flight make sure you show him the registration. Make sure you go through that arrow. Make sure you show the registration and what else is it? There's the registration and I think there's the POH. The POH has got to be in the there's a tiny
plane
in there. Make sure you show that, even though that you have one that you have. Make sure you show them the POH, and then there's another registration. What the hell is it called? I forget so much crap now already. There's a registration, the radio license, the owner's manual's got to be in there, and the airworthiness. That's what it is, airworthiness. So,
did he really ask you for the air license? I heard that the air license is only required you're flying international.
So what he asked you is like the airworthiness is to be in that plane.
Airworthiness, yeah.
So it's your arrow. It's your acronym.
Yes, yeah. Airworthiness certificate.
The registration.
Weight and balance registration.
Yes.
POH.
And the owner's manual. Yes. And then the radio, obviously, but you really don't have to, but it's supposed to be in there anyways.
Okay.
But so you say, hey, look, he'll get in and say, hey, look, I want to show you. This is because it's got to be posted for you. So once you do that and you get in, you're going to treat him just like a passenger. So do you remember what you do when you do your safety briefing?
Yeah, you go through the
safety
seatbelts
parts.
and you explain the whole plane, whether it's
everything.
Yes.
All the way down. And then one thing that he did mention to me, which he wasn't supposed to, he's like, tell your passengers never touch anything that's red. So obviously your shut off, your fuel.
Oh, right.
Anything that's red, don't touch it. That's what you just say. When he hears you say that, he knows that you know that you're serious. Tell them about a sterile cockpit, and if he don't understand the sterile cockpit when you're taking off and landing, explain to what you want during a sterile cockpit.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I heard that the questions like, if you have a questions while that happens, hold it, right? If I raise my hand, just hold your questions. I cannot talk at the moment.
Yes, exactly. Say, look, I'll be glad to answer any of your questions after I land the plane or I'm at cruising altitude.
Yeah.
Not when I'm taking off, or not when I'm landing it or trying to land it on final or anything like that. I want a sterile cockpit. And just be very stern when you say that to him. he's going to laugh, you know, because he's going to act like a stupid passenger.
Mhm.
So we taxied out. He made me do a soft field right off the get-go.
Soft field, soft field,
Takeoff. He
takeoff.
made me do a soft field takeoff right off the get-go.
Okay.
Make sure you put that thing into ground effect. As soon as you get up off the ground, push that nose forward and get it in ground effect and gain that speed. And then you can climb out at VY. You know what I mean? Like once you gain that speed,
Right.
get above the obstacles, 50 feet above the obstacles. That's when you can do your flaps.
Okay.
He's going to want to know that. That's something that, you know, it's part of the ACS to know. So then he says to me, he goes, I need you to track a VOR. How would I do it?
Okay.
They track the VOR. He's probably say, hey, look, we're going to go to coil. We do a VOR. So then once we did that, he's like, all right, cool. You know that. He goes, you know what a radial is? I said, yes. He goes, well, I want you to find a 30-degree radial. So found a 30-degree radial, intercepted it, and we went that way. There's two places that he was going to take me. Chris took me to Red Lion a lot to do the engine out, but he actually took me over a coil field and did the engine out, and it was a little bit more comfortable over coil field because it was just, you know.
What will that be? Do you know the initials of that place?
Coil?
Uh-huh.
Coil field is the coil. The coil is the same as your coil, VOR.
Oh,
And is it?
it's called CO.
It's coil field. It's called COYLE, but I think it's CYN for coil.
CYN.
I think it's CYN.
So that's CYN is
Right.
VOR.
Yeah, so it's coil right there. So you come right out of Ocean County right there, right?
Okay, coil. Okay.
Go up with
No, it's right here. Right here. This is
yeah.
coil
But
field.
so he's gonna say, yeah. So he's gonna say, I want you to take me to the coil field. So we start heading to coil field, and he's like, take you to a 30-degree radial. See where 30-degree is?
Yeah, it's right here.
You see how it takes you over to Red Lion?
Actually, this is 300.
Just keep going. Keep going. Nope, you're 30.
This is 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, over here where your 30 is, you're 300.
All right, hold on a minute. This is 0.
Yes, go to your 300. You see where the 30, it looks like a 30 on there.
Right here.
Yes.
That's 300.
That's 300. He's gonna ask you to find that radial.
So he wanted, when he said 30, he wanted you to go to 300?
Yes. It's
Okay.
like he wants to confuse you a little bit.
Okay, got it.
Okay. He just wants to see if you're looking at that right there. See, what I just did is what he did to me. So he wants to know if you know that's a 300.
Yeah, okay.
It shows on there a 30, right?
Yeah, but I know it's 300. It's 360.
Right. So he wants to know if you know what that is, a 300.
So let's say that you were flying from when he took you to coil, where were you flying from?
We're flying from Ocean County.
Which was to my...
Just to your northeast a little bit.
Okay. So he wants. So basically, what you did is that you put in your VOR. It's entered your VOR, and then intercepted the 30 degrees radial.
You're gonna intercept that 300 radial, which is it's a
300 radial. Okay.
Yes. So, and he wants you to make sure that you know how to verify it.
That's with the Morse code.
Yes. So he wants you to verify that first. Then he took me over there. And he's like, all right, let's do some slow flight. So as soon as we start doing slow flight, you got to do your clearing turns. If you do not do clearing turns, you automatically fail.
Yeah.
That's a given. So as soon as I did the clearing turns, we went into
let me ask you this. When you do the clearing turns, you do first 90 degrees. Huh?
You got to go left.
You go left first, right?
Left. And he's going to ask you why.
You go 90 degrees left.
Yes.
Right? and then you go, you go back where you were starting? Do you have,
Yes.
do you also do 90 degrees right?
No.
Just left, okay.
So you go left 90 degrees.
Mhm.
You come back another 90 degrees, and which is going to be your heading that you started out on.
Okay, perfect.
160 heading, and you go left 90 degrees. You're going to go to a 270 heading, I think it is. And then you're going to go right back to, no, you're going to go a 360 heading. You're going to go 30 heading, and you're going to go 270 heading, you go 360 heading.
Got you.
Okay, and then we went right into slow flight. As soon as you did the slow flight, he's going to say, all right, I want you to turn 20 degrees to your right. Just make sure that everything is good with your slow flight. And then he's going to go right into a power off stall.
Power off stall, okay.
Yep. As soon as you go to a power off stall, and he tells you, you have to come to a full stall, not partial stall, a full stall, which was kind of weird for me. And I mean, like, okay, no problem. I've always been into a full stall. So then we did that, and then we went into a power on stall.
Hold on a minute. The power of salt. You put the power out. You have your flaps all
That's-
down.
Yes.
Okay.
Coming into land.
Yeah, like you're
Power off stall. Yep. And then so as soon
and
as
you need to be at least 3,000 to 5,000 feet above ground, obviously, because you don't want to
he's
stall
going
it.
to keep you around 2,500.
Okay, and then you push all the way back, right?
Yep.
And the plane is gonna get a point that it's gonna do. Whoa, it's gonna go down.
Yes.
Is that
yes.
is that?
Yes, but you have to keep your heading. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the thing that he wants you to see. He wants.
Thank you.
So,
Hey, this is great. Thank you very much.
so yeah, you can only deviate, I think, 10 degrees left or 10 degrees right or something like that. He told me it's like you're only allowed 10 degrees left or 10 degrees right, and that's what it says in the ACS too.
Okay.
So then we went right into a power on stall, but I've never done the power on stall that he did. He did me a right turn power on stall, which it tripped me out because I never did. I just did a straight power on stall. He made me do a climbing right turn power on stall.
Wow, that's dangerous. You can get in a spin in there.
Yes. So he goes, you ever been into a spin? I said, yes, I've been into a spin. One by choice and one not by choice. I said, I wanted my instructor to put me into a spin because I wanted to know what to do to get out of it. And he's like, okay, cool. So when we did our power on stall to a banking right, he's like, pull it. And I tell you, it was the weirdest feeling because you're used to doing stalls straight.
Correct.
Now you're turning and you're climbing. He goes, you're really close to a spin there.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what he wants to see, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So then we did that. I aced that. That was cool. So then we did the 45 degree banks. We did that was pretty easy. The first one was a little tough for me. I lost like 100 feet, but then I gained it back. As long as he sees you gain it back and you screwed up, you're okay. My left one was, I lost a little bit. My right one, when I did my right one, it was aces. I never lost nothing. I actually felt my wake and everything. It was awesome.
Awesome.
So it's not that you fail that. He just wants to make sure that you know how to,
To recover.
Yeah, and make sure you get back up to that 100 feet that you lost.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. So then we went right into that, and then he was like, okay, cool. Take me back. He goes, tune me back into the coil field. I said, okay. I'm like, where are we going with this? I'm like, I was expecting him to take me to red line and pull my engine out over there, but he didn't. So what he does is he gets me, he goes, bring me back up to 2,500 feet. So we went back up to 2,500 feet. Because all your ground maneuvers are at 1,500 to, your ground maneuvers were between 1,000 and 1,500. So we went back because we did circles around a point too.
Oh, circle around one point.
Yeah, we did that.
You know where you did that one?
So we did that right after we did the power out, and it was really cool because there was nothing out in the field. It was a ranger station.
Okay, so you just pick any point. It wasn't that there was a
He,
point
he,
in there.
he told you what point he wants you to go around.
Oh, he would
so-
tell you
Yeah, he will tell you. He goes,
beforehand or at that time?
there's a ranger. What's that?
Beforehand, or he would tell me at that time that use that to do your turns at
Yes.
a point.
Yes. And so you want to enter that on the downwind. So always keep remembering your wind. Remember, write your wind down. Like say if your wind was when you first started at 180 at 4 knots, make sure you write that down because you want him to show him that you're entering that turnaround point on a downwind.
20.
So once we got over to the coil field, he's like, "Oh, I had my tablet," and that's another thing you can't have out when you're doing your coil. When you can't have the tablet on and you can't have your phone out.
Okay, no tablet, no phone.
When you first go to your when he says, "Hey, I want you to take me to the VOR." When you do your VOR, you can't have your tablet on or your phone. He wants to make sure that you know how to use the VOR on the plane. How to do it, the GPS or the tracker with the
Can you
VOR.
use the GPS
You can't use it on your phone.
on my? You say that no. Okay, hold on a minute. How about the
There's two
GPS
ways
in
you
the
can do
plane?
a VOR. One's a GPS and one's the VOR, whatever the hell it is. It's in the plane. I don't know what the
Right. Can I use the navigation? So can I use the GPS as well or not?
Yeah, you can, but he might ask you to do it off not the GPS side. He wants you to do it on the other side.
The navigation side. Okay. So
Navigation side, yes. So
Okay, so you can take your tablet, but you can and your phone, but not use it during while he's telling you to track the VOR, correct?
he'll tell you that too. He goes, "Is there any way you could turn that off while we do this part?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem."
Okay.
I just tapped it off. So then we came back. He's like, "All right, we're gonna head back over to the coil field." So we went back over to the coil field, and he's like, "Hey," and this is where he got my attention to do something different. And then he pulled my power on my engine. Said, "You all right? Now you got us an engine loss." I'm like, "Okay." So what he did was, I said, he goes, "My tablet's right here next to my face, right on my left hand, like right by the book, right here." He goes, "Can you make that bigger?" And I went, "Yeah, sure, no problem." And I looked at my tablet and I went it bigger. And that's when he took my focus off of the engine and he pulled my power. I said, "All right, you lost your engine. What do you do?" Obviously, you get the best airspeed. Get your airspeed, and then then you go through your ABCs.
Yeah, aviation, navigate,
plan.
communicate.
Yeah, and then you communicate. I got it right to 65. I actually got it to, I said, "You know what? I want 65 plus 5. And he liked that. He goes, okay, I like that. And we went over the field and he says, "I'd rather have it on my side." I said, "Well, at this point right now, I'm trying to lose altitude because I'm at 2,500 feet." So I circled over the field and, just kept circling over the field. And I
Over coil, right? At this point, you're going over coil, right?
there's an old airfield there.
Oh, in coil?
Yes, there's an old airfield there.
Oh, okay.
It's the old Air Force base, what he told me.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where he pulled my engine. He can also take you over to Red Lion too. If you don't make it, so I always I told him this. I said, "Hey, look, we're gonna make the runway, but I made a joke out of it." He goes, I said, "I'm not gonna land short, but if we make the runway, it might be long and we might end up into the trees and you have a severe limp, but you're still alive." He thought that was funny. I said, "But so once we did that, then I got the engine out good. Everything was great. I was like, okay, we did the engine out. He goes, "All right, bring me back up to 1,500 feet." We went back up to 1,500 feet. And he was like, "All right, where's your foggles?"
Okay.
We did the foggles. And if you haven't done foggles in a while, which I haven't done probably, I don't know, probably like 30 hours ago. If you haven't done foggles in a while, I would suggest to do the foggles again.
Okay.
Right, because it was kind of tough for me. He goes, "Don't get asphyxiated on one instrument," which I did. I looked right at my my airspeed, and I kept my airspeed. And I was watching my heading at all. And I kind of got off course. He's like, hey, watch your heading. He did say a couple things, which he was not supposed to, but he goes, watch your heading. And I corrected it. And then I started doing my T, cross the top, down, cross the top, down on my gauges.
Awesome.
So then I started doing my T and everything was good. And he goes like, all right. Then he put me in an unusual attitude. It was probably one of the worst unusual attitudes I've ever been in. I was like, wow, my instructors didn't even do that to me. And as soon as we did the unusual altitude, if you are high, you power. If you're low, you pull the power.
Right.
Did Paul teach you that?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to say, he goes, he's going to say this to you. He's like, power this, power that. If you're high, you power, wings level, he's going to make sure that you know how to do that. As soon as I did that, that was good. But man, he really put me into it was almost literally a spin. And then I had to recover it.
Wow. So at that point, did you had your foggles with you, or that unusual attitude was with no foggles?
I had my foggles on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to do the unusual attitude with your foggles on.
Okay.
So he says, all right, you got us into a cloud now. and he goes, this is what I want you to do. So then we did that. All that was good. He goes, now we had to go back and do some landings and some different takeoffs. So he's going to make you do a no flap landing, but you have to do a slip into a no flap landing.
With a slip.
Yeah. And you want to keep your airspeed up on that. You want to keep it around 70. All the way down to landing, and you just hold it off. Just hold it off to until it, to the stall warning comes on. You just put it in ground effect. You got 3,000 feet on one runway, and I think it's 5,200 on the other runway. You'll never run out of runway. You're going to slip that thing right in at 70, and you're just going to glide all the way down. And he wants to hear that stall warning horn. He likes to hear that, but he'll let you know if you have a lot more energy in it. If there's more energy in it, because I said, hey, that was a good landing. He was like, there's still energy in the plane. And he just pulled back on the yoke real quick and wanted to take off. I said, I got another 3,000 feet to bleed this energy off. And as long as I understood that I still had energy in the plane and I could bleed it off, he was fine with that. Okay. So just because you have energy on one of your landings, just tell him, I said, I have a lot more time that I could burn this energy off.
Okay.
Don't try to force the plane down is what he's trying to say.
Oh, okay. Makes complete sense.
Yeah. So then we did that, and then we came back and he says, all right, you got to do a short field landing. I want you to go across the numbers at 150 feet. So, and I kept it right at 150 feet, and I kept it right on 65. And it was, and he goes, like, dude, that was perfect. So I said, all right, cool. Then we taxi back, and he's like, all right, you passed. I went, holy shit, I just passed my private pilot's license.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so we did 3 takes off and landings. I think we did a short field, a soft field. He makes you do a soft field too, landing.
Soft field landing?
Yeah, soft field landing and soft field takeoff. He did a short field landing and a short field takeoff. And so when you're coming up to your hold line, he did teach me something really cool that I liked, that I never really paid attention. You know how you're coming up to your short hold line and you just you're square with the hold line before you get on the plane? You're square with it.
Correct.
Turn the plane a little bit to final before you even get to your short hold line, so you can see anybody that's coming on final. I said,
well, me that as well. Yeah.
So another thing I told him, I said, you can do it old school too, but we don't have a whole lot of room here, but I could do a 360 and find out, do a 360 on the runway. And not on the runway, but on the taxi.
Yeah, on the hold short.
Yeah, on the hold short, but don't cross that line. I said, I could do a 360. He liked that because he's like, oh, wow, a lot of people don't know about that old school method. But make sure you put the nose a little bit towards the final and see if there's any planes coming in.
Yeah, yeah. I took class with Paul, Bill McCavey, and with Gene. Paul is my main instructor, but then one of them told me about, I think it was Paul, told me about, facing, instead of facing forward,
Right.
the whole chart, just, look out towards the final.
Yep. Yeah. And if you do that, he's going to say, all right, cool. This guy knows what he's going on. So then we taxi back and everything was good, man. I mean, it was about 2.5 hours of oral and probably like an hour and a half of flying.
Excellent.
He didn't make me interpret a METAR. I didn't have to like figure out a METAR for him.
Okay.
I didn't have to do that. So I studied it just in case he asked me.
Correct.
Other than that, do you know what Shara means in a METAR?
Showers.
Yes. Rain. Do you know what B Shara means?
B share.
B Shara.
That's showers, broken showers or something like that.
No. So that means baby rain.
Baby rain. Okay.
So it's mist. So just think of it's baby rain.
Rain, miss. Got it.
So what else that he didn't tell me that, but I just thought that's kind of cool that you can learn that though. Baby rain is Bishara. It's baby.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, and right now I'm going through all my weather just because you say weather to me the other day. I say okay, that I know that weather is one of those things that I kind of failed on the test. So I know he's gonna nail me down with that, right?
Yeah.
So I've been studying about weather. That's where I am right now. Then I'm gonna continue with my airspace, and I'm doing my maneuvers as well. Yeah, but this is super helpful, right? So I'm very grateful to you, Marlyn.
Yeah, no problem. I have no problem. I was just tickled pink when someone asked me because I'm always asking someone else.
It happens,
Paul was like, hey, man, write everything down. But I had a pretty good memory, I mean, I don't really write a whole lot of stuff down, but I have a pretty good memory on how everything went down.
You have a great organization skill. And, I saw what you did. It was like, my God, this is awesome.
I will never, ever forget my check ride. I can tell you that right now. Because he's a really, really, his demeanor is just calm, cool, collective. And he's not there he's not, how can I say it? Like Don Eck type guy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because Don looks like he's a stern to the book type guy. He's a really nice guy. He's
awesome.
I think you'll do fine. If Paul, if he thinks that you're ready, then obviously, then you'll be fine.
Thank you very much.
Just make sure, I'm telling you, go under your foggles, because that really screwed me up when I'm like, oh shit. And he said, as soon as he said, don't fixate on one thing.
Yeah.
And that's what the first thing I did was I just made sure my airspeed was good.
Yeah.
I fixated on my airspeed.
I will do that again. But one of the things that I had done it in the past multiple times, but something that have helped me with that is that the flight simulator, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the things that I do when I cannot fly, and I'm all the time looking at my how is that you call it, all the gauges, they call it the six pack. The six pack.
Yeah, the six pack.
I'm all the time looking at the six pack just to be sure that I have my attitude, my heading, my my power, and all that. So when I did it in real life, Paul told me that he was surprised that I did it pretty good because when
simulator helped out.
Simulator helped me out with that, right? So sometimes what I do is I get into the clouds on the simulator, used to simulate that thing where I cannot see, and then try. Not that I will do it on real life, But what that is doing is I cannot see anything, right? I'm simulating that I have foggles on it. So, hey, this has been great. Thank you very much. You know,
Yeah, no problem. Good luck. I would like to know how you do.
yeah, I'll keep in touch. I'll let you know. My test is on
Really
November
study
20.
on the Echo and the Golf airspace, because he's gonna
Yes.
hammer that to you, man. I mean, he's gonna
Yeah.
hammer the Echo and Golf.
Okay. And I love that trick that you showed me with that video. I'm gonna start writing it like you did, you know.
Yeah, I wrote it every day for like a week and a half before, you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so easy. You know, I'm like, because I had a hard time with it. I'm like, I know 152s are here, but I'm like, I had no idea the Echo and Golf was that complicated. But once it made to the 313 with the 5 and the C, it was easy after that.
So did he allow you to write it down while you were doing your test, or by that
So
time
what I did is I said, hey, look, I have this. I told him, he's like, hey, what about? He goes, what's the Golf and airspace? I said, can I write this down right now? He goes, yeah, sure. I said, because there's a method that I do in my head that I like to write it down. And I wrote it down right in front of him. But as soon as I brought out a piece of paper, it was on my piece of paper that I had in my pocket. He goes, is that it? I'm like, yeah. He goes, just use that. He goes,
perfect.
write it down. He goes, just use that. But it's good to write it down to just refresh your stuff with the Echo and Golf airspace.
Awesome.
And oh, he did ask me about what is it, special VFR? What happened to Kobe that he had to get a special VFR clearance?
A special VFR is when you are under VFR, like you don't have the minimum visibility for VFR.
Yes.
I believe it's 6 nautical miles.
Yes. So he did ask me about the special VFR. He goes, and when do you need that? And when can you fly in that?
Yeah, so, when you can request it, but you know, if you are in a tower airport, you can always go crazy in a non-tower airport.
I know that's just it. So here's the thing: you can't fly it at night. It has to be an IFR. Remember that.
Right.
You have to have an IFR flight plan. You can only fly a special VFR during the day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what he wants to know. That's what he wants to hear. He goes, at nighttime, it has to be an IFR flight plan. You cannot do no special VFR anymore. And because I think it's 1,000, 1 mile visibility and 500 feet below. I think it's something like that. The special. I have to look it up, but there's so much stuff going on in your head. But that's,
my goodness, I never thought that it was so much information, my friend. Yeah,
dude, it's so much information. It's crazy. So write that in the back of your far aim.
Okay.
Let you look in your far aim.
Okay, good.
He did ask me about the special VFR and when can you fly and when you cannot fly.
Okay. Awesome. And I have so are you going to do your instrument rating now, or what are your plans?
So I'm on a job right now, which I haven't even got to fly since I did my check ride because I'm so busy right now. I do want to do my instrument, but I'm just kind of like holding off right now because I spent a lot of money on my private pilot because I got kind of hosed with the school. You know, they were playing bumper cars with the planes, and I used to fly November 62862. I like that plane. Then it went down, and then like Barbara would just like say, "Oh yeah, your plane's not available today," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can only fly on Sunday. That's the only day I could fly." So if I got lost my day, I'd have to wait till the next week, and there could be bad weather next week.
Correct.
So I lost that day. So it took me a little while. It took me almost 3 years to complete it because, well, for one, COVID. You know, Shannon, my first instructor, quit, and then David, he went on to the airlines. Now Chris, he went on to the airlines. So it was really time consuming because I can only do one day at a time. There were sometimes I couldn't fly for like almost a month. So then, you know, then I lost my 90 days student pilot. And then I had to go back up with an instructor again. And I couldn't get, you know, like it was just one thing after another going wrong with, I mean, like I think I have almost like 90 something hours total.
I'm close to you. I have like 80 something. I have been 2 years into it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I would have probably been done probably around 60, but it just one thing after another, like the engine went out in Yankee Tango. There was only one plane at one time, and it was hard to hell to get.
The parts, yeah. I remember that.
It just kept on going. It just kept on accumulating on me. I'm like, oh my gosh. I almost didn't do my check ride because they only had 3 hours left on the 100-hour inspection.
Oh,
I said, you guys couldn't do this when it was raining just 3 days ago. You couldn't bring it in for a 100-hour inspection and do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, are you kidding me? So it got down to like the gnat's ass with the 3-hour inspection. I mean, I got back, I think I had 1.9 hours left on the plane.
oh my God.
Yeah. I was freaking out. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So booked. Bill is so booked. Like, he's like booked almost 2 months out. So if you miss your wall, holy hell, good luck.
Yeah.
Like if you're the November 20th, say something happens, like there's bad weather or some bullshit,
I'm gonna have to wait a couple months more then.
you better be nice to Bill. That's all I gotta say, because he like when we were doing the oral, his phone was ringing off the hook. People doing check rides.
Wow.
I mean, off the hook. He's like, oh, that's another one. He does a lot of. They come from all over to go to him. I mean, all over, all the way from Delaware, all the way up from like Poconos.
Wow.
I'm like, holy shit, really? I'm like, it's just not, you're just not local. He's like, no, dude, I got people coming from New York, from Maryland, from Delaware, from Virginia. I went, oh my gosh. He's booked 2 months out.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
So make sure you study and good luck. I think you'll be fine though. He's really a nice guy. I was nervous at first. The second, when I went back the next day and said, hey, I'm ready to do, ready to do this. It was so easy. Just getting the oral part done was just a relief itself.
Oh yeah, halfway through it, you were done.
The
right?
flying part, that's what you do mostly.
Yeah.
You fly mostly. You really don't do a whole lot of studying.
Correct.
CFI, you do flying. So the oral part, well, I'm about a B average student, C plus B average student. I wasn't really a smart kid in school. So it took me a little bit to get going. And for me to remember all this shit that they want you to remember, I'm like, I said, and my CFI just kept telling me, hey, do this, make sure you do the hot spots, make sure you do this. And then like a day late before that, he was like, oh, make sure you do all this. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? He goes, make sure you're studying the right stuff. I'm like, I thought I was. So, but it all worked out good and I'm done with it. So, but yeah, do I want to do my instrument? Absolutely. I do want to buy my own plane. I do want to fly in clouds. I can't wait to get up above the clouds and be able to fly through them, and it makes your insurance cheaper when you have a plane too.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
I appreciate it, man, for asking me. It's kind of cool, someone asking me instead of me asking someone. So I wish.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Thank you. You have been very kind in sharing all that information with me. I will, as I mentioned, I will share it with Mel as well. And
Yeah.
I'm sure we will see each other, that you will keep flying and I'm still going to be around.
Yeah.
Okay?
Just remember, once it's done, it's a relief.
I know, man. It has been a long journey for me. 2
Yeah.
years, 90. I'm 80. I'm close to the 90 hours. I'm 80 something.
I was like
hours.
93 hours, I think, when I did
Okay.
it. 93.
I'm close to you. So yes, I want to get this done.
I kind of feel sometimes that the school wants you to get that high, so you just keep putting more money in their pocket.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I couldn't fly last weekend because, as you say, the two planes that were in there, they were due for the 100 hours. Two planes at the same time, 62862 and Zulu Hotel, were due for the 100 hours last weekend. On
So
the
which
weekend.
which one you gonna do it in?
62862.
Are you?
I like that plane.
Does it still pull to the kind of like to the right when you're flying?
It does.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like some So I did my solo in that, and when Shannon got out, I said, "Holy shit, this thing took off to the right, man." I said, "Hey," he's like, "You got any questions for me?" I was like, "Why did you tell me the plane took off really weird when you're not in it?" You know? He's like, he just started laughing. He was like, "Yeah, everybody has that, but."
Yeah. It does, but I'm used to it, right? So that's the plane where I have most of my hours.
Yeah.
So I feel super comfortable, feeling it. So that's my plan. We'll see if that if we can make that happen.
All right, good luck. And there is also, okay, so there's one more thing that he asks. So right below the coil field, there's that blue. It says R502C right there.
Right.
That is a restricted area. That's for the air. That's like for the military.
Correct.
He will ask you about that also.
Yeah. Okay. Restricted area.
Yeah, that restricted area, because you can see it. You can definitely see it from coil when you're up in the air.
If it is restricted, means that I can get in if they allow me to get in there. I will have to contact them and ask for. So which is different of no fly zone. If it is no fly, you're done. That's it. Don't even drive.
Yep. That's kind of like your CIFRA in the middle.
Exactly.
There's no VFR flights in there.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
All right. Well, good luck, man.
Thank you very much. You have a good night. Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you, Raphael.
Talk to you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.